Breaking news out of Kent this morning. The Kent Education Association says after nearly 2 weeks of strikes, teachers have reached an agreement with the district.
Now, we are still waiting to hear from the district, but the KEA made the announcement this morning on their Facebook page saying that the picket lines are over, so we'll have a live update with that coming up here at 7:30.
So that's a big break there. Meantime, back to school delayed in several other districts across the state as what would have been the first day of school for many is now on hold.
So teachers are calling for change. They're willing to push back the school year to see that happen. Demands range from more student resources to better pay. We got the picket lines filling up as well.
And we are bringing you team coverage this morning as this develops. Fox 13's John Hopperstad in Eatonville as the strike there goes into effect.
Also, our Dan Griffin in Seattle as teachers in the state's largest district head to the picket line.
And that's where we begin this morning. And Dan, teachers say they need a response from school officials
The weather
now.
team has declared a weather alert day as we brace for another round of snow.
All right, so we're bringing you team coverage as we track this fast-moving system and look at all of these bright and shiny faces.
Love 'em.
We are starting up north with John Hopperstad on his way. He's in Whatcom County right now. You can see the snow is really coming down around him.
And as this continues to track up back into make landfall up in South Carolina over the coming days, we're going to be following this. The story has just begun out there, guys.
All right, and that is where we begin our team coverage this morning. Brian, of course, tracking the storm as it continues to pummel the Gulf Coast.
And our Dan Griffin is in studio with us, gathering the latest video and speaking to people on the ground there as well.
But we start off with reporter Lauren Blanchard. She's live in St. Pete Beach, Florida. Lauren, the devastation is incredible to see, and this could quickly become a deadly storm.
Yeah, it really could. But the thing is, guys, that we want to clarify, we heard from Governor Ron DeSantis just a little bit ago in a news conference. Earlier, we told you about reports from the Lee County Sheriff, where he gave an interview this morning on another network saying that the fatalities in his area were going to be in the hundreds. Well, the governor has just walked that back, thankfully. He said at this point they do not have any confirmed fatalities. Instead, he believes that number was likely people calling 911 about rising water. So really big change there, or clarification from the governor's office. And of course, this storm, though, it continues to move and its effects continue to move through Florida, causing a lot of problems.
There's little relief for Florida as Ian continues to rip through the state, toppling trees, ripping down traffic lights, and knocking out power to more than 2 million people.
We just got the generator up, so hopefully we'll be okay through the night. No sleep.
Ian first struck southwest Florida Wednesday as a Category 4 hurricane with maximum sustained wind speeds of 155 miles per hour. It dropped more than a foot of rain in some areas, and life-threatening storm surge turned roads into rivers and left homes underwater.
It's insane. It's like mind-blowing to see that nature could do that.
While Ian has weakened since making landfall, officials warn communities in central and northern Florida are still in danger.
You're going to see hurricane force winds in places in central Florida, perhaps. It's clearly a very strong tropical storm all the way until it exits the Florida peninsula in the Atlantic Ocean.
As conditions improve, crews near heavily damaged areas will repair downed power lines and clear roadways.
For this particular storm, we've brought thousands of crews from across the country. So right now, between those crews here in Florida and across the country, we have 10,000 crews standing by waiting to respond.
And right now in this area, St. Pete Beach, the authorities are asking people to stay in their homes just because they are trying to assess what kind of damage there has been. Power lines are down in this area. We are part of the now 2.6 million who are without power. The governor also said there are ongoing rescues happening in the southwest part of the state. Back to you guys.
Lauren Blanchard for us this morning in Florida right now.
Yeah, Dan Griffin keeping an eye on the destruction this morning.
Well, that's right, yes. And we're looking at this video here. This just really breaks your heart. This is at the Avanti Nursing Home in Orange County, Orlando area. They're actually escorting people out of the floodwaters here. You can see a lot of water still there. And this video just coming down, by the way, from the Orange County Sheriff's Office in Florida. But you can see people being evacuated. Certainly still a tense situation for them in Florida.
Seattle Mariners have a playoff game. Yeah. You are not dreaming. Today is the day. Finally, we got you covered from Seattle to Toronto.
Man, that's going to be fun. Plus, the First Lady touching down in our area today where drivers need to plan ahead.
Also, the days are getting shorter, but summer-like temperatures are sticking around. Abby Coney is tracking how warm it'll get.
Fox 13 News. This is Good Day Seattle.
Wow, what a Friday. We have a lot to talk about this morning. I'm Liz DeWicki.
I'm Bill Wixie. We do indeed. Let's begin with our forecast, and Abby Coney has that. Hi there.
Feeling the energy, right? This is so exciting. What a great weekend ahead of us. We're talking about a high of 77 today. Morning fog and drizzle will give way to hazy afternoon sunshine. Could be that filtered sunshine effect with high-level clouds. And just how warm we get today depends on how quickly the fog clears out, most likely between 10 a.m. and noon. Hourly temps coming up next. Liz and Bill, I'll send things back over to you.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about that Mariners playoff game. And of course, Brian, we need to know where you are this morning here at T-Mobile Park. You have like the assignment of the day.
Yeah. You need to know where I am. Look where I am. Look at this place. Now, of course, the game's not being played here, but we got something really special happening down at T-Mobile Park coming up here a little bit later on this afternoon. Because, of course, you can watch the game against the Blue Jays at home, sitting on your couch, but wouldn't it be better to just take in the smells and the sights of the ballpark while you're sitting with hundreds or maybe even thousands of fellow fans? That's exactly what they're doing down here at T-Mobile Park coming up for today's matchup against the Blue Jays. The first time the Mariners have been in the playoffs in 20 years, folks, and they're going to have a party down here. It's $10 to get in if you want to come down to the park, and they're going to be showing the game on, well, one of the biggest screens in the Pacific Northwest, of course, the big Jumbotron here at T-Mobile, and they're going to have concessions open and all that good stuff. So it's $10 to get in. If you're a season ticket holder, it's $5 to get in, and parking's just $10 as well. What about that forecast? Well, it's looking pretty good here this afternoon. In fact, I think we're going to be a lot warmer as we get into this afternoon compared to yesterday, because we're going to break through any morning cloud cover that we see or any little low-level fog that we're going to see here this morning should break away into sunshine by the time we hit 1 o'clock for first pitch. So a lot of fun down here. There's going to be music. There's going to be surprises, I'm being told, by the Mariners. And, you know, come down here. I got all my gear on, guys. I have layered up completely. I got, let's see here. I got this postseason T-shirt on. I got my Griffey jersey, got my jacket. And I even got, check it out, got my Mariners socks on. I'm all set. Hope you are, too. I'm excited. I'll send it back to you.
Find somewhere to put that tie, because your tie has the playoff mojo.
It's got the juju.
Oh, wait a second.
Wow, did you really bring it?
I got it. It's right here.
Oh, my gosh.
Yep. Maybe it could be an ascot.
Baby on here later.
There you go.
Or just,
like
you know,
it.
wrap it
Bandana,
around your
maybe.
head. Exactly. Great minds think alike.
That's the play.
Brian, oh my gosh. I'm so excited. I know how excited he is for this. All right. So, as you can see, the flag is flying high. I mean, we've got excitement in the building. The city is ready to go. Our Mariners are finally back in the playoffs for the first time in 21 years. And it's a day, really. Everyone across the Northwest is celebrating
As
right
the
now.
team embarks on the postseason today, ending the longest playoff drought in North American professional sports, it is incredible to think that an entire generation has grown up without experiencing the thrill of playoff baseball in Seattle.
As the Mariners go onto the field, they are the American League West champions for 2001. They're going to the postseason for the fourth time.
Rick Riz has been the voice of the Mariners for almost 40 years. He's seen it all, and he says there are great similarities between the Mariners' last playoff team back in 2001 and this year's ball club.
Feeling the same thing, but it's different because, you know, the guys on the team were different, and these kids are awesome, and I'm having so much fun. The path was different because in 2001, they bolted out of the gates like Secretariat and never looked back. You know, on the third week of June, they were 29-39. I think they had about a 2% chance, you know, to make it to the playoffs. But that's the beauty of this team. Just the steady professionalism and never give up attitude of this ball club in 2022. They're all different, but the goosebumps are still the same.
Goosebumps still the same. Game 1 of the Wild Card Series begins at 1 o'clock today in Toronto, and if the Mariners manage to win that best-of-3 series, they will advance to the best-of-5 divisional series against the Astros, and the Mariners would then host their first playoff game in 2 decades, so fingers crossed.
All right, we've got you covered all morning ahead of the first pitch, so starting at 7, bringing you live to Toronto. Our Alyssa Charleston is there. She's in the thick of it all. Got post-game coverage, starting at 5 p.m. as well, right here on Fox 13 News.
We're on top of breaking news out of Seattle this morning as police respond to a shooting in the city's Yesler Terrace neighborhood.
Yeah, our China Green is on the scene for us this morning, and it sounds like you learned that someone died in this shooting. What's going on?
Yeah, so Seattle police have confirmed that there was a shooting. I'm here on the street of 12th and East for very active scene still. I spoke to several people who live around here, and they all told me the same thing, that they heard the sound of a car crash, several consecutive gunshots, and then screaming from a man, and then more gunshots. And when they came outside, they could smell the scent of gunshots. But SPD says that there is one victim. Based off of what I have seen at this scene, I can confirm that there is a fatality. Now, Seattle Police Chief Adrian Diaz just got to the scene here moments ago. We're going to try talking to him to kind of learn exactly what happened here this morning, confirming that this did happen around 4:30 this morning. So this is very early on into what happened here. We're going to learn more, and we'll be back in about 30 minutes. But for now, we are live in Seattle. China Green, Fox 13 News.
Also this morning here, get ready for a few delays and detours. We got road closures starting this afternoon and tomorrow as First Lady Dr. Joe Biden touches down in the Pacific Northwest.
So she is here to highlight local workforce development programs, but she will be traveling a few different places around the state, likely bringing traffic in the area to a halt. And Fox 13's Dan Griffin joining us now. So, Dan, where do we need to watch out for? What's on the itinerary here?
Yeah, so good morning to you, Bill. There's going to be a number of spots where people are going to want to pay attention. One of the spots, obviously, I-5, from what I understand anyway. We're standing here just across I-5 from Bates Technical College. That's where she's going to be speaking a little bit later today here. And so traffic might get rough as she's moving from place to place. She's going to be landing a little after 3 this afternoon at the King County International Airport. And from there, her motorcade will bring her here to Tacoma to speak at about 4:15 in the afternoon. That's here at Bates Technical College. That's going to be that first traffic snafu. Tomorrow at noon, she's going to be attending an event for Senator Patty Murray and be part of a Hidden Helpers Coalition event at Pacific Science Center in Seattle. That's at 1 p.m. So you're going to want to be prepared for some slowdowns if you're driving in those areas. And there's no word yet on when she's going to be taking off from the area, going back to her plane. So obviously when they transport her from where she is at that point to her plane, there's going to be some slowdowns, maybe some delays from there. And that all of that is adding to the Revive I-5 work we've got this weekend. Closure of State Route 99 tunnel on Friday night. Closures of State Route 524 and 9 as well, according to WashDOT. So we're going to have more information about the First Lady's visit on fox13seattle.com. You can check there for more details about that as well. For now, we're live in Tacoma. Dan Griffin, Fox 13 News.
And I love that, Dan, you busted out the word snafu in your live report. That's a $3.50 word. Okay, let's look into our weekend, and how does the forecast look for us?
Hey, you know what? For these watch parties this weekend, honestly, our weather couldn't be better. 70s, you guys.
Awesome.
How we feeling?
That sounds good.
It's the exact same temperature at the ballpark that it will be inside the Dome in Toronto.
Yeah,
really?
It's going to be pretty great, right?
Nice, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to feel really balmy out there today and summery. In fact, we could be dealing with record-breaking temperatures this afternoon. 54 degrees right now as we allegedly look back over the Tacoma Narrows Bridge, which so far off to a really dark and cozy start to the day. We got some clouds, fog out there this morning. Highs boosting to the upper 70s. Lowlands, foothills, and the mountains. Even Snoqualmie Pass here at 77 today. Even once we get through the clouds this morning, maybe between 10 a.m. and noon, we're going to be dealing with some haze later on this afternoon. For the coast, you will be significantly cooler compared to the interior, and that's because you're going to be stuck beneath the clouds even into the afternoon. If you're heading out into central Washington today, for example, into Wenatchee, we're talking about temperatures warming to 80 degrees with smoky sunshine. Visibility, let's get a check of what to expect. You see that .0 right now in Chehalis? That's where visibility is down to less than a tenth of a mile out. The struggle is also real into Hoquiam and Arlington this morning. I think the fog is going to clear off a little bit more quickly than what we saw yesterday. Unfortunately, for a couple of pockets today, especially up over the Cascade foothills, our air quality could be dropping down to an unhealthy for sensitive groups level. So if you have any respiratory issues or if you have some medical sensitivities, like you're pregnant, maybe you're a senior citizen, you might be feeling some symptoms, some coughing from any of that smoke that we've got going on this afternoon. In general, though, we're not expecting a widespread impact for most people with our smoke this afternoon. We're in the low 70s into noon, jump into the upper 70s into 5 o'clock, mid 60s into 10. I'm going to be taking you on a tour of our highs around the region coming up next. I'll send it back over to you now.